Hello everyone, welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. We're on East Vineland, New Jersey. We're on Kubota Farms. We're in East Vineland, New Jersey. And I have started the bunker silo emptying, I guess, of all of our silage. Actually, let's just stop that right there. Let's change that to the back door. Yeah, there we go. Get it emptied a little bit faster. Hope everyone's having a great week. It's Friday. Wow. It's fantastic. The weekend is just around the corner. I hope you all had a safe and pleasant week. A couple things have changed on the farm. I'll go over those here real quickly with you in a second. I just want to see real quick. Man, we've got a lot of straw to sell. 280, almost 289,000 liters of silage, and we've got a lot more coming over, so that's awesome. Here's the first thing that's changed on the farm, our trailer. Look at that. You know, I forget, I often forget about customization, and I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking we need to get a new trailer. We need to get a bigger trailer. I wouldn't mind getting an orange trailer. But that being said, this trailer has done us well. And then it just dawned on me, wait a minute, what are the customizations like for it? And sure enough, you could add some rails on the side, some side rails or side, I don't know, whatever, side panels, maybe is a better word. And that bumped up our capacity pretty good on this thing. Makes it far fewer trips back and forth to the storage barn. I was going to say storage shed, but it's more of a storage barn. Honestly, off the top of my head, I forget what it cost. It wasn't very expensive to get this thing bumped up. So, but what I enjoy even more is this thing of beauty right here. Check out this guy here. Oh yeah, the JCB 541. I think it's in darn near Kubota orange. It's not quite Kubota orange, but it's close enough. Look at that thing. I think, I mean, isn't that a sharp looking ride? It's my second favorite now. It's not quite up to the standards of our Kubota mower setup, but it's darn close. Look at that thing. Absolutely stellar. Yeah, I'm falling in love with this JCB for sure. In fact, I'll show you real quick. It's a mod and it is cross-platform. Which one is it? It's the JCB Agri. I think it's this guy. The yeah, one least. The Agri Load-All. Very, very nice. Very nice little rig. And, you know, almost Kubota orange, but not quite. But we had it custom job done on it. And look at those nice rims down there, too. Let me get out and show you those rims. Oh, yeah. Daddy likes BKTs on there. Man, it's looking good. And it's doing a great job. I kind of had to figure something out because of the higher side panels on our trailer. I wanted something that was going to easily reach over. I wasn't going to be constantly knocking into. And generally the wheel loaders wouldn't do too bad of a job, but these telehandlers do such a nice job. The only downside is you're a little limited on bucket size, but this still does, you know, around 4,500 liters a scoop, which is really nice. The bucket on this, or the forks, the silage forks, are, I think they might be from the same modder. They're part of, and they're also cross-platform. They're part of a JCB telehandler equipment pack, I think is what it's part of. And instead of going with the bucket this time, I decided to try out this silage fork setup here. And I quite like them. I don't think it makes a lot of difference whether you use the bucket or these, to be honest with you. They kind of function the same. I tested both, and I actually kind of felt like these forks did a little bit nicer job. I don't know how to describe it, like being able to pick up the silage a little easier. I don't know, it's kind of weird, and if you look at it, I mean, it's basically a bucket, right? I mean, look at how the deal is there. So yeah, they do a nice job though, either way. In fact, if you want to see, I'll switch back here and we'll see if we can find, yeah, the JCB telehandler attachments by Rawson Mods, and it is indeed the same modder that did the Agri load-all. So yeah, something to check out if you're on PC, Mac. It doesn't really matter, or console. But look how sharp this thing is. I'd drive that to work. Tell you what, I would not be ashamed to take that to work every day. The thing is sweet looking. Looks like a moon buggy. That's bad. That is bad. Love it. Isn't that what the kids are saying today? If something's good, it's bad. I don't know. Maybe that's actually not what the kids are saying anymore. So we're just going to continue to get this bunker silo taken care of. So I don't know about you, but my Christmas shopping is pretty much done. I probably have maybe one more thing to pick up, and Grandpa usually send a check for the kids, so I usually have to do something with that. But other than that, I'm pretty much done. Something that's kind of annoying though. Let's talk about this for a second. Suggestions. Now, I'm not talking about suggestions like, hey, I suggest you go and try the blue cheeseburger at the grill and bar downtown. Not those kind of suggestions. Or I suggest you shower today because you smell. Not those kind of suggestions either. The kind of suggestions I'm talking about are the stinking suggestions that we have to deal with from YouTube and Amazon and any site that kind of tracks what you look at. And normally, well, sometimes they work fine, and sometimes they're okay. But the problem I'm running into is, particularly during the Christmas shopping season, when you're shopping for people of either the opposite sex or of a different age group, or even potentially of completely different hobbies or interests. Amazon doesn't care. Amazon's like, let's see, Brad's been looking at graphics cards and motherboards. Oh, wait a minute. All of a sudden, Brad loves JoJo's Great Adventure. No, I don't. But I had to look at it because my kid might want something from that. But I don't love it. Heaven forbid I'm shopping for a daughter, you know? Oh, okay, well, I see Brad is buying an air filter for a Toyota Camry. Oh, and all of a sudden he's kind of interested in the latest makeup. No, I'm not. That was for Christmas, Amazon. That's not for me, man. So now my suggestions are all screwed up. Amazon thinks I love JoJo's. Is it JoJo's Great Adventure or Big Adventure, or I don't know. And then my other son. Now this one's not as bad, but my other son still likes Legos, and likes the discontinued Legos, you know, and I don't shop at Amazon a lot for the discontinued stuff because it's crazy expensive, but at least some of the things, the older he gets, I'm not so freaked out about. But these suggestions are not so great at all. And heaven forbid that either one of my kids watches YouTube under my account, because now I've got YouTube thinking all kinds of weird things about me. Like, YouTube must seriously be ultimately confused. Like, can you do a quick survey, please? Certainly. Put down your age. I'm not going to say it right now because I'm, you know, because I don't want to tell you how old I am. That's sad. We'll just say middle-aged adult, male, you know. Oh, we see, though, that you have spent, you know, that you love Roblox and I don't know, the weird things they watch. They watch weird things, you know. They just watch weird things. I don't want that on my suggestions. I know I can wipe out history. Trust me, been there, done that a few times. But suggestions are rough. I don't know. Is there a way that you can go like into Amazon and say, "Hey, Amazon, you know, really appreciate the thought, but you can start like suggesting normal things to me again, you know, like technology stuff, technical stuff, you know, computer components and automotive parts and things that, you know, I'm actually looking for." And it seems like, you know, a lot of shopping sites do this. It's not just Amazon, you know, it's yeah, I think even Newegg. I'll get man, this JCB does a nice job. I'll do like I'll get looking at Newegg. Now I don't use Newegg like I used to. Newegg's gotten weird. It's gotten weird. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it anymore. Newegg seemed like it used to be. If you're not familiar with Newegg, it used to be a lot more centralized on computer stuff. You know, that's pretty much how it originally got its name. Is now it's named Newegg, but how it got its reputation was selling computer parts. And prices were good, and they were reliable, and the whole 9 yards. But I think in an effort maybe to keep up with Amazon or some nonsense, now you've got all kinds of sellers on there, and it's hard to tell if something's open box or refurbished, or if it's coming from, you know, overseas and it's going to take 3 months to get to you. I don't like Newegg nearly as much as I used to. And in fact, I really don't even bother with it unless there's something very specific that's, you know, a very good deal on Newegg. And I know not everybody's a fan of Amazon. I totally get that. Oh, I missed a little. Aw, look what I missed right there. I missed a little grass spot back there. That's gonna bug me. And I understand not everybody's a fan of Amazon, but Amazon's always treated me right. Has never treated me wrong. I've always had really good luck returning things. I've read reviews before on Amazon, people slamming them like, couldn't review it, or couldn't return it, this is nonsense. And I'm looking at it going, I don't understand that at all. I've never had a problem returning anything to Amazon, ever. I've never gotten a restocking fee. I've never dealt with any of that stuff. So have I just been lucky, or I don't know. But for the most part, I find the best prices at Amazon, and if they're not the best, they're darn close, and I'll take that because I've always had, like I said, more than good luck with their customer service. In fact, recently, I'll tell you this little story. And this is totally my fault, by the way. So, it isn't and isn't my fault. I mean, it is my fault, but there's a little excuse, let's put it that way, that I could throw in there. So when I recently purchased a CPU, and I wanted to upgrade my CPU because when I originally put my system together, I got a more or less kind of the mid-tier Ryzen. It's a Ryzen 7 3700X. Served me quite well. In fact, it served me very well. But I wanted to kind of max out or come as close to maxing out my current system configuration without having to buy a motherboard, new memory, you know, go that route. I just wanted, because this is usually what I do, is I will upgrade and upgrade until it's just not worth it anymore, and then I start from base level and, you know, and get a new motherboard. That usually means a new socket for a processor, new RAM, blah blah blah. I'm not there yet. I'm at that mid upgrade time right now. And so I thought, okay, well, let's see, you know, let's watch the pricing on the Ryzen 9s. And I realized that, you know, the new AM4s are out, but like I said, I didn't want to buy a new motherboard, and I didn't want to buy a new RAM, DDR5 and stuff. So I got on Amazon, and sure enough, the Ryzen 9 5900X that I wanted had dropped down in price enough to where I thought, okay, this is a pretty good deal. And there was a bonus offer that if you bought the Ryzen 9, if you bought this particular processor, you would get a free copy of Uncharted. All right, the game Uncharted. No idea. Wasn't really that familiar with the game. So I looked it up, and it's gotten good reviews, and I kind of looked at it, and I thought, you know, this is something I would play. Sure, you know, it's $60 on Steam, and I thought, you know, maybe it's a AAA title, I guess, right? And it's free. It wasn't the decision maker for me, but it was free, and so I want to take advantage of it. Well, I didn't read, I guess, the fine print, and the fine print was you actually had to add the game itself to your cart as well. You know, it wasn't like buy the processor and we'll send you the game code. It was when you add the processor to your cart, you also need to go get the Uncharted game, add it to your cart as well, and we'll credit you for, basically we'll credit you for the purchase of the digital code for Uncharted. Well, like I said, that's the part I missed. And so I got done with buying my processor. I ended up having to buy some thermal paste. I think I added some thermal paste. I'm a diehard Noctua fan. If you're not familiar with Noctua, great products. Best, in my opinion, the best fans you can buy for your system. And they make excellent accessories, things like heat sinks, and they make excellent thermal paste. If you're not into using liquid metal or something crazy and you just use normal thermal paste, I highly recommend the Noctua stuff. So I get the stuff, right? And I wait a day or two and no game code. And I'm kind of thinking, well, that's kind of weird, because usually, you know, like I said, usually Amazon's pretty much on it. And I was supposed to get an email with it, and I never did. So I checked my cart, and then I looked a little bit closer, and sure enough, found out that, oh, I was supposed to add the game to my cart. And I'm like, shoot, missed that. So I got on a live chat with one of their customer service people and told them my story. And I said, hey, you know, I see that I didn't add it to my cart. I know that I screwed up. Is there anything we can do? And the lady on the other end was like, sorry, nothing I can do, but what you can do if you want And I thought this was weird. This didn't make any sense to me. But she said, what you can do is you can go buy another processor, add the game to your cart like you were supposed to in the first place, you know. She didn't say that, but, you know. And then return the processor when you get it and just keep the game code. And I'm thinking to myself, really? Is that really the way it will work? Because that just seems like a really easy way for somebody to get a free game Uncharted. Like, really easy way to get. So hey, if you're looking for Uncharted for free, there you go. Go to Amazon, buy a Ryzen CPU, put it on a credit card, whatever. Get it, turn right around, return it to Amazon. Oh wait, no. Wait like 2 or 3 days until you get the game code. Return the processor, and you've got a free copy of Uncharted. And I honestly don't think there's anything they can do about it. They can't, like, go back and say, ooh, you know, invalidate his, you know, his game because he returned the CPU. I don't think they can do that. And it's through Steam. It's kind of a weird way of doing it, and I'll tell you about that in a sec. But anyways, so I wasn't super surprised at the lady's response to me. I was like, okay, you know, whatever. And I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to go through the hassle of doing that. I just didn't want to deal with it. And I asked my kids if they wanted the game, and they didn't sound super interested in the game. If they would have told me, like, oh, yeah, man, that's, like, awesome game, I'd love to have it, I might have thought twice. But both of my kids were like, so, you know, it'll probably be fun to play, but to be honest, not really, you know, into it. So the next day, I decided to make one more attempt. Felt a little bit bad about this because I don't like doing this, and I don't like when people do this to me at work, and I'll kind of explain that a little more. But basically, what I did was I emailed Amazon customer service, and I told them the same thing. I'm like, hey, you know, bought this processor, forgot to add the game to my cart. Actually, this time around, I did not say that. This time around, all I said was, I bought the processor and I haven't received my game code yet. Okay? I conveniently left out, I forgot to add it to my cart. I left that part out. Well, Amazon responded pretty quickly, actually. It was just a few hours. And thankfully, it wasn't the same person. Can you imagine if the same person somehow or other got both of my... Oh, that would have been really embarrassing. So, they responded with basically the same thing. Really sorry to see this. We investigated your purchase, and unfortunately, you did not add the game to your cart. And unfortunately, we can't add, you know, we can't give you the game separately like that. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I'm just, at this point, it's just kind of a, you know, let's see what happens kind of a thing. And I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. And I wrote him back, and I said, yeah, I get it. That's cool. I don't know why I wrote back. I wrote back something like, yeah, I get it. I think I forgot to add it. Thanks for looking into it for me. And that was it. 2 days later, I get an email from Amazon saying, hey, here's your game code. Enjoy. That was it. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea if somebody... I don't know. I don't know what happened. But somebody must have looked into it further, or was... I don't know what happened, but I got my game. I was shocked. They didn't have to do that, and I totally, you know... I'm not one of those people that... I've never been one of those people who doesn't take responsibility for things like that. Like, I'm not gonna blame anybody else. Like, I could sit there and whine and say, well, you should have been more obvious about how to do it. And maybe they should be a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's still my fault that I didn't do it properly. And Amazon gave it to me, and I don't know why. And I don't know how it went from, you know, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Brad, try to get that stuff in the trailer. You know, there's nothing we can do. I mean, it was final. There was no, like, let me check on it further. It was, you know, it seemed final to me. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about with Amazon. And that's the kind of experience I've always had with them. I honestly, and I mean this sincerely, I have never had a bad experience with Amazon. And that doesn't mean that they're perfect and people don't have bad experiences with them, because I'm certain people do. I just have never had a bad experience with them. And that means a lot to me. That's why they are generally always the first place I go to for online shopping. Because they've built that trust up in my mind that if I have any problems, I'll get taken care of. And I always have gotten taken care of. And that's awesome. And the one thing I was saying, you know, during the story was I really don't like when people do this, especially to me at work. I don't like when people shop for answers. It's kind of, I don't know. It just kind of bugs me. Like, and it's funny because amongst with IT people, and if you're in IT, you'll get this, by the way. Somebody will come to me and say, "Hey, Brad, I'm not due for, you know, a new laptop yet, but is there something we can do to expedite my refresh?" Knowing darn well that I'm the person who they need to talk to, and pretty much my answer is kind of the final. and I'll say, no, I'm sorry, you know, there's really not, you know, and I would personally do it, but you know, but they're cracking down on this, and unfortunately I can't help you. Well, then the next day I find out that same person went to somebody else, you know, and asked them the same question. And it's like, really? It's like when your kid asks, you know, like when a kid goes and says, "Hey, Dad, can I go to the, you know, to the party tonight with my friends?" And Dad says no, or Mom says no, and then they go and ask Dad, you know, because they shop around for the best answer. I get that with kids, but man, if you're an adult, come on, have a little respect for the person that you're talking to, you know. It doesn't make me mad, like I don't get like steamed about it, but I just, a couple of times, and actually one time I specifically remember this happened, and this person had a track record anyways. They were kind of jerks, and they actually had done something very similar, knowing darn well that what they were asking, and I forget specifically what it was. I think it had something to do with they wanted to load some kind of software on their machine that was not allowed by the business or something, and they did the old, you know, question shopping. Came to me, you know, then went around and started asking other people, and got the same answer. And I found out, and I went up to them, and I called them on it. You know, I'm like, hey, if you, my philosophy is this: if you have the nerve, the guts, the desire, whatever you want to call it, to act like that, then I should be allowed to call you on it. You know, that's always been my theory. And I did, you know, I pretty much called him on it. I'm like, hey, did you get the same answer from Steve in June as you did from me? Like, really? It's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. But there you go. That's a little pet rant, a little pet peeve, a little rant. But I'll tell you, if that's the worst thing I have to deal with in a day, I'd take that almost any day, you know? I'm sure you might be thinking the same thing. Is, Brad, if that's the worst thing you have to deal with at work, you got a cake job. I know there's people that are going to be thinking that one. And no, it's not always the worst thing I have to deal with at work, but the worst thing oh man. Oh boy. This episode's going kind of long too, isn't it? Oh no, it's not too bad. We got time for a little more information you don't need to know. So, what do they call it? TMI? The worst thing I have ever had to do, as far as a job goes, as far as an IT-related job goes, as far as a technology-related job goes, I've done worse in other jobs, but as far as an IT job goes, I was called in to do forensics on somebody's laptop who was where there were suspicions of inappropriate behavior. Let's just put it that way. Somewhat borderline illegal, in fact, inappropriate behavior. That was the worst thing I have ever had to do. Well, it's probably the worst thing, darn near the worst thing I've ever had to do, was to look through somebody's personal, nasty, rotten pictures of themselves as well. And wow, talk about burning stuff into your brain that you can't you can't erase. I would love to have a delete button. Oh my gosh, why didn't God give me a delete button for my brain? That would be amazing. So yeah, that was unpleasant to say the least. So I'm sure we've all had to deal with stuff, bosses, work, employees, whatever else we need to deal with at work. That's why none of us should have to work. That's why we should all be able to just do what we enjoy, you know, whatever hobbies we enjoy, or oh, I'm gonna hit that wall, you know, do hobbies or just whatever, you know. Wouldn't it be amazing if that's the way it worked? Like, not so much just even hobbies, but like if you were able to, if you were honestly able to pick exactly what you want to do. And I know that some people are probably thinking, well, yeah, you can do that. Of course you can do that. Well, it doesn't always work out that way, you know? But it'd be pretty sweet. You know, you get out of school and you're asked, you know, what's your dream job? You know? And that's what you get to do. Your dream job. Really your dream job, you know. That'd be pretty sweet. And for some people, I think maybe they get that, you know. But it changes too, you know. I mean, my dream job, honestly, I don't even know if I've really thought hard enough to know what my dream job would be. You know, honestly, I think any job that might start off as a dream job can become more job than dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, as much as I loved computers, I didn't go to school for them. It was just a hobby, and it was a hobby that turned into a career. I was so happy. That to me was like I was doing what I loved every day, working with computers. I thought, it's perfect. You know, I'm not going to become a millionaire from it. That'd be nice, you know, but money's not everything. And I was happier with having a job that I liked than I was with worrying about you know, making $1 million by the time I was 25, you know. But even over a period of time, you know, it becomes more work than it does, you know, anything, I guess. And I'm going to assume most jobs are that way, you know, that they become more work over time than they do your dream job. I could see where certain jobs that maybe are more rewarding, you know, might stay a little bit nicer. Like, that's probably the one part about my job that I like the most is the helping, the part that you know, helping people part. Because if you get in a situation where you fix something for somebody and they really needed something to work, like it was their main stress point that day was because this was not working, and you get it to work, you know, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty rewarding feeling, and I'm sure that follows through, you know, in a lot of situations. But you know, I think about like YouTube. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, man, I would take full-time YouTuber instantly. You know, would love it. And I get that, you know, that's not really my dream, really. Would I like it? I guess I wouldn't mind it, but I can honestly see where even that, you know, isn't always going to stay being, you know, fantastic, you know. But speaking of, I did notice the other day, and I love seeing emails come in that show new subscriber. I don't get an email every time somebody subscribes. I don't know how YouTube... I honestly don't know how Google or YouTube or whatever decides who I find out subscribed. Because I'll get a hey, so-and-so subscribed to your channel today. And I'll go look, but it's like 4 people subscribed. But I only got one email for one person, so I don't know exactly how that works. But anyways, I was overlooking at my subscriber count, and yeah, oh, don't tip. Oh, thank you, Agri. So not driving very nicely with this bucket. Over 200. I was really surprised to see that. I swear the last time I think I looked at the actual count, it was like 180 or something like that, and we're over 200. I'm happy with that. That's like 200 more than I thought I was gonna get. So hey, and I'll tell you, I think I've got awesome subscribers and awesome people watch, because I've just gotten great feedback. I've gotten great comments. So yeah, I really appreciate that. It's fantastic. Let's go dump this real quick. I feel like I'm dumping and picking up the same amount, so I'm gonna go dump this bucket real quick. We'll come back and I'm gonna just try and snag that little bit there. I'll give it one more go and see if I have any success. Try not to tip the JCB this time. So I remember we looked at, whoa. We looked at the amount, and it was around 289,000 liters that was in the barn. Oops, in the storage barn. And of course that's, you know, obviously from before as well, so we're adding on. So we'll have to check and see what we end up here with this silo, with this bunker silo full. Pick that up. I think we're in pretty good shape. Oh, there's some grass there we don't want. Thought there was a little bit more there, but I think we're in good shape. How's the bunker looking? Yeah, that's some grass down there we can leave in there, so we're good to go. I don't know. I really like this JCB. I leased it, but I think we might just keep it. And I do have the lease to own mod installed. So we might just do that with this JCB and just keep it, and we'll lease it to own it. I'm kind of sold on this thing. I really, really like it quite a bit. I mean, we'll still get use out of our Kubota front loader, but this thing is too bad to the bone to let go. Not so much that horn, but the rest of it, yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, let's just check real quick. We'll throw 50 bucks for maintenance, $1 for our silage fork, almost $3,000 in paint already. I must have really been rubbing up against those bunker walls. Yeah, it's a little bit of grass left in there if you're wondering what that is. Yeah, I think we're in good shape. Let's go dump this off and let's see what our final total is for our silage storage. And we'll wrap this episode up. Almost noon on the dot. It is noon on the dot. Nice. All right. I don't know why that's nice. I seem like I got a little more excited about being noon than I should normally get excited about that. And it's not even in the real world, so that's really kind of doubly weird. All right, so get this thing up. I think our case will be able to handle those higher walls too with the feeder. I don't think we'll have any problems getting our harvester to dump into this thing either. So if we do, we can take them back off. Yeah, 422,000. Nice, nice, nice. I'm happy with that. And we'll have even more now that we're dealing with real grass. Real grass. Silage usually tops off around 576 in January. Yeah, okay. All right. We've got good money there. Over a couple 100,000 then, right? So not bad. Let's do a little maintenance on our tractor. Little maintenance on our trailer. Paint job on the tractor is only at 12,000. Oh, yeah. I need to confess something. Just before we go here, I always told you guys I would be open and honest about things that happened on the farm when you're not watching. Yeah, kind of screwed something up a little bit. Okay. I cheat once in a while with certain things. I'm going to tell you what I cheated with. So when I purchased that cultivator, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This guy here. Okay. See how used it is and kind of worn? Well, when I bought it, it looked brand new, and I didn't like the way it looked. It was too shiny and too nice and too new. You know, at least I felt like it was. I wanted something that looked a little bit more used because it was pretty cheap. It's like $9 grand, and there's no way this thing. Well, anyways, so I can use these tools. You know, advanced. What is it? The advanced whatever tools. And you can go into a vehicle and you can set condition. Well, the only way you can do that with a trailer or any kind of implement is you have to attach it to a tractor. So I attached it to the M8 over here, and I set the condition of the cultivator to 100% worn, which made the tractor 100% worn, which it wasn't, so I had to reset the tractor, and that's why we're back to... Was that worth it, that story? I don't know if it was worth telling you all that or not, but I just want to be, full disclosure, because the thing with video is you can go back and you can watch and you can say, Brad, how come, the tractor had $30,000 worth of paint work done to it, but yet you didn't lose any money, and I don't play that way kind of thing. So I just want to make sure. Am I really out of reach here? Really? Jump. Jump. There you go. We'll just wash it from this side. So I guess that's about it. I mean, we got done what we needed to do with our bunker silo and our silage, which is awesome. Now it's just going to sit and stew until time of year to sell it, which will be in a couple months. October, September, October, November, December. Yeah, a couple months away. We'll be selling a bunch of stuff. Like I said, we're going to be selling all of that straw that's sitting in there too. It's not a lot of money, but there is money there for sure. And we have a little bit. I think we have a few other things, right? We've got some barley to sell, not a whole lot. The sorghum we might just save for the pigs. Honestly, the corn we might just save for the pigs. I don't usually care about selling these smaller quantities. Barley's probably worth getting rid of, and maybe even the wheat. We can even sell that, but mostly I think most of our cash is going to be coming from that silage. So it's nice that we can do that, and it'll be really nice when this grass gets ready to harvest, because we're going to get a much bigger yield out of this field than we used to with the meadow grass. At least I'm assuming we will, and I'm kind of excited to see how much more we get. So, very cool. So that's it. Another week wrapped up here on Kubota Farm. What are you two doing? Just chilling? Yeah? I love our sheep. Our sheep are awesome. We got the best sheep in the county. Probably what we're going to do... we'll probably fast forward. We'll look at a couple of contracts if there are any to do. Otherwise, we'll just fast forward to our selling time, not waste any time, and get to selling so we can see what we can spend our money on. The only other thing I thought about loading into the game, I did check on this, and sure enough, there is a field lease mod. I thought there was, and I checked it out, and it's kind of cool. You know, if that's kind of the way we want to play, I'm not sure. I'm not totally convinced it's the thing to do now on this map, maybe on the next one. But for like instance, wow. For instance, $573,000 for Field 7 here. We can lease that for like $5,000 a month. There is an upfront setting up the lease charge, I guess, more or less, and that would probably be about $50,000. So it's not like cheap, but it's also nowhere near $500,000. And it's not lease to own, from what I gathered either. It's pretty much lease until you forfeit. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if I want to introduce land leasing into the game right now. I'm just not sure about it. If you've got any particular thoughts on that, you can leave them in the comments. I thought there was, oh, and the only other mod then, if we don't do land leasing, there is another alternative we can introduce if we want, and that's the dynamic field prices mod. Excuse me. And basically, that's exactly what it is it changes the prices of fields randomly. I think it's fairly random. I loaded it just to check it out real quick. Um, didn't save the game with it, but I just wanted to take a look at it real quick. And like, for instance, field 7 here with the dynamic field prices, this field went from 573 to like almost $100,000 less, to like 470 or 460. Why or how it determines that, I have no idea. And if I load it again, will it be the same? I don't know. This little area here that we talked about maybe buying for 45,000, where the chickens are back home, that one actually went up to 55,000. So I don't know how it decides how the pricing works on fields. I have no idea if it's super random or if there's any logic to it, but you can't, we can introduce that one if you want to as well. I guess at this point, I don't care if we do either. If I had to pick one or the other, probably the dynamic field prices. I feel like at this point, if we introduce leasing, it feels a little bit like, yeah, I'll go around and lease, 5 fields for, 20,000 bucks a month, easy. And we do have leasing enabled on our production facilities. We don't have to take advantage of it, but that is also available if we choose to do that. So, all right, I'm going to keep yapping. I'm really sorry I kept you all so long. If you're still with me, thanks for sticking with me. You all have a great weekend. I am thinking it might be Silver Run weekend. I have boy, I've been doing some work on Silver Run, and maybe I'll bring you along, catch you up with what I'm doing on Silver Run right now, and you can have a little bit more laughs. You can have some laughs at the cost of my incompetence. But yeah, maybe we'll do some Silver Run this weekend. If I do, I'll record it and pop it out on the channel. But thanks, everyone. I do appreciate it. I definitely really appreciate all of you new subscribers. That's awesome. It makes my day every time I get a notice that somebody has subscribed. Makes my day when I get comments. I just enjoy it. It's fantastic. Whoa, hello, hello. Um, no, I don't have any food. Your food's over there. But keep the comments coming. Absolutely love it. Thanks so much. Leave a like if you enjoy the video. And subscribe, of course, if you'd like. It's totally up to you. It's free. That's the best part, right? Take care of yourselves. More importantly, let's take care of each other. And I will see you all real soon. Oh, man. Oh, did I forget to turn the mic off? Hey, everyone.